It's the Egg Bowl. Petaluma, Casa Grande, as they do battle on the softball diamond in a vital VVAL matchup. And a very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Griffin Epstein, joining you here from the Petaluma High School softball diamond, what should be a thrilling game between two arch nemesis in Casa Grande and Petaluma. The Trojans have had a stranglehold on this series of late, especially in this decade. They have won 10 out of their last 11 games against the Gauchos when they've played, and the Gauchos have not won here on the west side all the way since 2009. They're looking to pull off the upset and create some history this afternoon. They were so close to doing it last year when they lost on a walk-off to Petaluma. Well, the Trojans are hoping to get a big victory over their arch rivals and also get an important victory as they look towards VVAL. The Trojans are just a game back of first place, and they're shooting for a league pennant. Casa's just 2 games back, so they've got a shot as well. Let's head on to the field as we are just about ready to start things off. Mandy O'Keefe will lead the Trojans as their ace, the junior. Petaluma comes in 11-5 overall, 3-3 in a very competitive and lots of parity VVAL, while Casa Grande's 8-9 and 2-5 in the Vine Valley Athletic League. Gauchos in the green, Petaluma in the white as we're underway. First pitch misses outside. The scoreboard is not working today, so we will be updating you on the scores frequently throughout this one. As the first 2 miss from O'Keefe. She's 5-2 on the year with a 4 flat ERA. It's actually really not been the best season for the Trojan A. She's struggled a lot this year. 7 games started, 49 innings pitched, just 4 complete games. She's had some rough stretches where she's really struggled to find the strike zone. Finds it there, though. Make it 3-1. Swinging pop-up, and the catch is made it short by Rachel Bless. So Hart flies out to lead off for the Gauchos, and O'Keefe does a nice job getting it out there after falling behind, especially early for Petaluma. You don't want to fall behind because of the records in this series of late. The pressure's on Petaluma to win every time. Reagan Lobsher digs in for the Gauchos and takes a strike 1. Lobsher batting .280 on the year, the junior for Casa Grande. Every single Gaucho, Lobsher fouls it off. Every single Gaucho on this squad remembers what happens here at the Petaluma High School Softball Diamond last year. The Gauchos have an identical roster to last season's team, besides they losing 1 player. They had no seniors on their team last year. Lobsher again fouls it off. What heartbreak the Trojans handed the Gauchos. Kaylee Wyan a walk-off home run in the 8th inning, and the Trojans completed a comeback on Casa Grande 5-4. One of the most memorable moments of the season last year for Petaluma. Lobsher in the hole here, 0-2. Battling and trying to get something off the junior Trojan ace. Pitched well last year in this spot. No stranger to big moments, no doubt, O'Keefe, but she's been a little up and down this year. And it's shown in the Trojan successes, beating some exceptional teams and some disappointing blowout ugly losses this year. Let's put the Trojans right in the middle of things for NCS and VVAL. Little pop-up into center, and the catch is made by Wyan, 2 down. Nice pitches so far by O'Keefe, getting the Gauchos to swing, but off balance. Not able to get good contact so far. Presley Ruoff in the 3 spot for Casa Grande. 2 out and nobody on, top of the first. Ruoff first pitch swinging right to Pomey at third. 1, 2, 3, exactly how you want to start things off if you are Petaluma, as O'Keefe looks good in that first inning. There's your advertisement, and there is me. So good, exceptional start for the Trojans. O'Keefe comes out and gets a 1-2-3 inning. She's had some really slow starts to games, so just be able to go out, have a clean inning. The fielding was clean. Good news for Petaluma. The nerves are so important and such a factor in these rivalry games where both sides detest each other so much. And no matter the records, no matter the teams, no matter the prestige, you really have to always throw it out when Casa and Petaluma play against each other. And softball is no exception, even though Petaluma has dominated this series of late. The Trojans know this Gauchos team is fully capable of pulling the upset, especially with their experience, returning every player from last year, including exceptional pitching staff we'll get into that the Trojan bats are going to struggle against. And the Gauchos have had an up-and-down season as well in VVAL. They're 2-5 in league, but even though that doesn't sound good, they're just a couple games back of first place in the Vine Valley Athletic League, where every team has at least 2 losses on this season. There's really not anything separating first place Vintage right now from 6th place Casa Grande. It could easily be mixed up in the next 3 weeks, so it's not just this rivalry game, but both teams still have hopes of making it very far in VVAL and then into NCS. Both teams won their league titles last year, the Trojans SCL outright, and the Gauchos were co-MBL champs last year with an extraordinarily young team. Half their team was freshmen last year, the Gauchos. They've certainly tried to use that experience this year, and we'll see how they do in this game. So we head back out onto the field. Rachel Bless will lead things off for Petaluma. And she faces this talented pitching staff for the Gauchos. Katie Machado, the junior ace for Casa Grande. Her and Katie Humphreys, the 2 pitchers for the Gauchos. They were both brilliant last year. Big part of their success. The Gauchos rely on their pitching for success. 8-9 overall is Casa Grande. Some good victories over Annalee, Antioch. They've lost some tight ones, too, to some good teams. Splash takes outside. It's 1-1. Both of these teams played in the Napa tournament over the weekend as well. As Bless takes a strike, and it's 1-2. Petaluma lost in the championship game of the Napa tournament to Rancho, while Gauchos also fell to Rancho in the semifinals and then fell to Napa in the 3rd place game. Both pretty successful weekends in Napa with some very prestigious teams. And, you know, neither team's going to be rusty coming into this one. They're ready. You play 5 games in 2 days. It's an exhausting process, but it's no doubt it improves the fundamentals. 2-2 to Bless. Just gets a piece of it. The talented sophomore's been on a tear of late, including a couple of dingers. She had 2 home runs over the weekend in Napa, adding to her total of 4 home runs on the season, and batting .367. Nasty pitch caught the outside corner. Exactly what Machado wants, the off-speed, tying up the best hitter on Petaluma. So 1 down, nobody on. Will we see a pitcher's duel this afternoon between 2 aces? The Trojans have relied on their bats, however, most of the year. I think a big question is who can play their game. Is it Petaluma with hitting and you get the runs up, or is it the Gauchos with pitching and keeping it a low-scoring game? Trojans have dropped a couple games where they've struggled to hit the ball. Kaylee Wyan bats second for the Trojans. Takes a low strike to make it 1-1. It is a sweltering day by any standards as Wine fouls it off, and that could affect this one. It's over, I think it's over 85 degrees. There's no shade on the softball diamond. My director, Jamie Cantieri, is going to check our official forecast for you. 90 degrees flat. Wyan pops it up in foul territory, but under it and making the catch is the Gauchos third baseman, Mo Lynch. So 2 down. 90 degrees. This is one of the hottest live streams we have ever done before. It might be a record, in fact. For the players, they're going to get tired quicker. It's going to be hard to bring energy even with this game so important. You can really start to feel lackadaisical when it's this hot, especially early in the spring. This is one of the hottest days of the year. One Wyan twin to the other. Emma Wyan batting third for Petaluma. Quickly ahead 2-0. Wyan has been on a tear of late. She leads the Trojans in hitting, getting hits half the time she comes to the plate. A .500 batting average. Unheard of in a good league like the VVAL. That one just catches the strike zone, but Wyan is just that talented of a hitter. 22 hits on the season, 13 runs batted in, and 12 runs. Swung foul, just missed it a little early. Junior catcher had a good season last year, batted .328 with 19 hits. She's already surpassed that this season. 3-year varsity player, so he's become an upperclassman, get more experience, and put work in the offseason. The benefits come. Wyan goes around, and that is the end of that inning. So both teams go 1, 2, 3, and we go to the second inning. So far, so good for the pitchers, and maybe the heat prefaces the pitchers in this instance with really the batters. You get hotter dealing with that heavy heat on you and struggling to hit the ball, and so far I haven't seen any solid contact so far by either squad. Petaluma has hitters up and down the lineup that know how to hit. They'll have to make some adjustments, though, on Machado, who's an excellent pitcher that has pitched very well this year for the Gauchos and gone to them to some key victories, and they'll have to hope that they can do this again. This really could be a season turnaround victory for Casa Grande with their lack of victories on Petaluma and currently at a losing record. I think with the experience they brought back, manager Scott Severs, the head coach for the Gauchos, they expected to be a lot better record than where they currently stand. But the VVAL really just so challenging in softball this year. Petaluma had lost 3 SCL games in the last 4 years. They've lost 3 VVAL games so far this season. So it's just such a massive upgrade in competition for everyone. There is only really one bad team in the Vine Valley Athletic League in Justin Siena, and everyone else is really exceptional material. All 6 other teams, I think, are used to winning and winning a lot. So we head back out onto the field. And O'Keefe settles in for her second inning of work. The stands are absolutely for this one. Both Gaucho fans and Trojans alike has to number well over 100 in attendance for this big one. The energy and excitement is palpable in the hot air. First pitch popped up into left. The catch is made. And Kylie Pate is getting more time for the Trojans, the senior. 1 down. O'Keefe hasn't pitched a lot of complete games this year. Only 4, but she can get quick at bats, potentially go deep into this one. Gain confidence as she goes. First pitch strike to Ashley Casper, the sophomore, batting 182 on the season. Just got a piece of that. It's going to bounce over Pomey's head and stay fair. Well, that's just unlucky. Not good contact by any means by Casper, but it was a perfect lob right over the head of Pomey and landed right in fair territory before bouncing off down the third baseline. So Casper, the first base runner of this ballgame. 1-on-1 out. That one catches the outside of the strike zone to the junior Katie Humphreys. That misses, and Wyan takes a look back towards first. Trojan infield. It's Pomey at third. Bless it short. Mallory O'Keefe at second. This one is popped up to first. And that's Cami Ayers, who makes an awkward-looking catch. And she had to both deal with the Sunshine and Katie Humphreys coming charging at her. With 2 down. Outfield for Petaluma. It's Kylie Pate in left. Kaylee Wyan in center. And India Smith in right. Emma Wyan behind the plate. catching for the Trojans. Experienced lineup. There goes the runner. She's out of there. Exceptional throw by Emma Wine to catch the runner. And a risky play by the Gauchos to try to steal in a game that doesn't have a lot of base runners. It does not pay off for them. Emma Wyand has a rocket of an R behind the plate, along with her exceptional bat this year. And a big play for Petaluma. This defense for the Trojans, when they are playing together and playing well, they really are impeccable. They do not make mistakes. 13 errors on the season, but if you look at it, it's a slight games where things really fell apart for Petaluma and they struggled, that those errors totaled up. When this Trojan team is playing together like we saw early in the year, and Petaluma won its first 7 games of the season, really hard to stop. If Petaluma can get its bats going in this game, it could be really challenging for a Gaucho team that doesn't have a lot of big bats in its lineup to contend with. It'll be interesting to see if O'Keefe can continue her good work so far, too. Only having to face 6 batters through 2 innings is exceptional news for her, especially for both sides. They hope that their pitchers can work deep. Have to be tired after the Napa tournament. Just got 2 days off after playing so many games over the weekend that you're not used to, and in a very busy upcoming league schedule for both sides as well. Both teams play league matchups on Thursday, and then these teams actually play again on Friday afternoon at Casa. That game rescheduled from last month when it was rained out. So next couple weeks, VVAL really will be decided. It's busy. Trojans have 6 games in the next 2 weeks, 5 of them league games, and the other a huge one against Rancho in the Friday Night Lights game, which we will be at. That one will go a long way towards deciding the NCS standings. How many viewers you got, Jamie? Appreciate everyone tuning in live here from the Petaluma High School Softball Diamond. As we go to the bottom of the second, India Smith leads things off for Petaluma and takes a first pitch strike. Smith, the senior captain for Petaluma. The Gauchos only with 3 seniors and Petaluma only with 2. They're young squads based on the numbers, but the experience is broad. Both of these teams play a lot of underclassmen, and the programs have built a lot of underclassmen. The Gauchos returning every player, and the Trojans returning over half their team. One. Fouled straight back by Smith. Smith batting .368 on the year, 14 hits. Hit .516 last year in the SCL, but hasn't been able to replicate that this year. Been a little bit on and off slump for the Trojans, but Kurt Janstow still calls her the best hitter in the whole county. It feels like she's just waiting to get hot and really go on a tear this year. It hasn't happened yet. This one lined into left, and the catch is made. Good contact by Smith, but right to Dedrickson. There's one down. So far, perfect 4 for Katie Humphreys. Smith, a long talk to Logan Pomey. What adjustments do these Trojan bats make against a good pitcher? That one in the dirt, low. It is a lot of heat today, but there's a light breeze blowing from the outfield into the infield, about 5 miles per hour. Shouldn't be too much of an impact, but nice reprieve for the players. This one is popped up into center. 2 down. Pate gets under that one. Trojans still searching for their first hit as Mandy O'Keefe digs in. Pitcher for the Trojans batting .360 on the year with 18 hits, 10 runs. 3-year varsity junior. So misses outside. So Keefe family, long lineage of beating up Casa in softball. off speed, catches the bottom corner. Nasty pitch, and O'Keefe's in the hole. Mandy's older sister, Emily, graduated in 2017, was a 4-year varsity player and pitcher, especially for Petaluma. Ground ball right to short. And again, 1, 2, 3. Go the Trojans quietly in the bottom of the second. And the Gauchos and Katie Humphreys rolling early against the Trojans as they are still looking for their first base runner of the game. And both sides, I think, pretty tentative to start. We did see the attempt at a stolen base by the Gauchos that didn't work out for them, but for both Petaluma and Casa, this game has so much importance. It's hard to take risks, especially early in this game, and both teams are just trying to really settle in and play their best ball right now, as I think both have worked into midseason form by playing exceptional teams day in and day out in the VVAL. And that experience is, I think, going to really pay off for both sides as we near the end of the season, and especially into the North Coast section playoffs, where the Trojans have really struggled of late, but both teams look like they should get high seeds. Petaluma is currently projected as a 3 seed in NCS, the Gauchos as a 12 seed. And when you play the exceptional teams in the VVAL day in and day out, you're going to face similar squads in NCS. A lot of teams don't get to play that high level that both Petaluma and Casa are getting in the Vine Valley Athletic League. And it should really benefit them in May for a Trojan team that really beat up on SCL teams the last couple years and then struggled in NCS because they just weren't getting the experience of playing high-level teams such as El Molino and LC Allen. And you just don't get much benefit from winning mercy rule games that end in the 4th inning. You're just completely out-talented the other team. Top of the 3rd here. No score between Casa and Petaluma. This varsity softball egg bowls. The first pitch is low to Katie Machado. Machado batting .417 on the year. That one catching the inside of the strike zone. O'Keefe's done a nice job early, moving her pitch location around, pinpoint accuracy, and it's kept the Gauchos all off balance. Machado with juniors. She looks in on the 1 and 2, and it just misses outside. Trojans currently 168 in the state of California. The Gauchos 448 as computer ranked by Max Preps. That time it catches the strike zone, so now it is 2 and 2. Scoreboard not working today. I think the heat might have gone to her. A slow chopper to short. Bless handles it with ease to Pomey at first. Or Ayers, I should say, at first. And there's one down. This Trojan infield looking good so far. Backing up O'Keefe, who's been through struggles, as we mentioned. Get that infield and outfield fielding well, and even fielding above average. It gives so much confidence to a pitcher, and all you got to do is your job, not worry about the players behind you. That ball fouled off out of play into the tree. So it's Skylar Thorpe, batting 143, the sophomore, at the bottom of the order here for the Gauchos. One down in the top of the 3rd. 0 and 2 now on Thorpe. As that misses outside. 1 and 2. Trojans sit in 3 and 3 in VVAL, but they are just one game back in the loss column of Vintage and American Canyon, currently tied for first place in the Vine Valley Athletic League. Trojans have played a lot less games than the league leaders currently, so plenty of room to make up for Trojans. They just don't have a lot of room for error at this point. Petaluma really cannot afford any more losses, for now at least, being one game back in the standings, and also with Napa at 3 losses. Sonoma Valley currently at 500 on the season as well. 2-2 now. Strike 3 called right down the middle. It froze Thorpe. And O'Keefe has her second strikeout. So 2 down, and Samantha Dedrickson is the 9-hitter for the Gauchos. Just one base runner by both sides so far in this game. It was a bloop single in the second by Casa, and the runner was caught stealing on the next at-bat. O'Keefe has looked at her best so far. That misses inside. Dedrickson, one of the 3 seniors on the Gauchos, team leader on the softball team. She was the captain of the varsity girls basketball team, and maybe looking for some revenge from that and their loss to Petaluma. But not going to happen there. Ground ball to Bless, and the side is retired in order again. Ritz and repeat right now for both pitching staffs, and we are already 3 innings through this very quick-moving game, and so far no score between Casa Grande and Petaluma. Both teams really playing smooth softball so far, and this is what we want to see. 2 experienced squads ready for this rivalry game, and so far playing their best softball. It does definitely, though, look like no team wants to make a mistake, and it's been fun to watch so far, but it's going to be, I think, the difference of which team can adjust to the exceptional pitching, get their bats on some balls with some solid contact and find some holes, or maybe get patient and force some walks. We haven't seen any walks on either side, and that's always a good way to both get in the pitcher's head and at least get some base runners so you can get something going in a game. Trojans so far is still looking for the first base runner of the game for a team that's hit 360 on the season with an on-base percentage of .414. Certainly not used to struggling with the bats, though we did see them struggle earlier this year against American Canyon, a game that we recorded, and that's up on our YouTube channel. And Lisa Bolin, who's the best pitcher probably in the VVAL, completely shut down the Trojans for just 2 hits in that game, and a complete game shutout for the senior American Canyon ace. Petaluma hoping that that does not happen again here at the Petaluma High School Softball Diamond, facing another very good pitcher in Katie Humphreys. Back on the field, it's Cammie Ayers to start things off for Petaluma. Next, Katie Machado looks to keep on rolling, the junior ace for the Gauchos. Team that was 7 freshmen on their team last year and still managed to be MBL co-champions with Rancho Cotati and Montgomery. Experienced and confident coming into this year, and the Gauchos hoping to break history. Have not beaten the Trojans here on the west side of Petaluma since April 5th, 2009, as Ayers is behind 0-2. It was a 9-6 victory for the Gauchos when the iPhone didn't exist and people still read books. 1-2 to Pomey. Line drive right to short. An easy catch for Machado. No, I should say Casper at short. So 1 down here in the third. And it's Logan Pomey now for Petaluma. The sophomore batting .275 on the season with 11 hits. It's hard for her to top what she did against Napa. 3 hits in that game. First time those teams faced off. And so far, the most exciting game of the year for Petaluma. 8-7 victory in 9 innings. In a game that Petaluma came from behind not once, not twice, but 3 times to defeat the Grizzlies, who came in as league favorites. We've found out since then that there's no league favorite in the VVAL. It's anyone's pennant. But Pomey had the tying double in the 7th, the triple that tied things in the 9th, and then scored on a pass ball to win it in that 9th inning. just got a piece of it, trying to defend the plate behind in the count, but it just falls lusciously into the mid of Machado. So 2 down. Mallory O'Keefe, the bottom of the order for Petaluma. And that one catches the bottom of the zone. Definitely been a big strike zone by the umpire in this game. That has helped out the pitchers. But the batters are going to have to adjust and be more free swinging, or hope that pitching tires. So far, Machado's cruised along to the tune of 8 up and 8 down. 1-1. Just missed outside. Mallory O'Keefe, the only freshman on the Trojans, the younger sister of Mandy O'Keefe. We mentioned Emily O'Keefe, the oldest sister. Mallory, the youngest of the three. It's a foul tip by Mallory O'Keefe. Batting .265 on the year with 9 hits. Might be short, but she is a very talented fielder and hitter. And the O'Keefes will continue to be a mainstay on the varsity roster. 2-2. O'Keefe with a reaching base 28% of the time, as she fouls this one off out of play. When you're not hitting right now, it's all you can ask for right now if you're Petaluma. Keep on battling, get the bat on the ball, foul some off. And if nothing else, it'll leave out some long at-bats on Machado. With this heat, 90 degrees, you're going to tire, and there is the first base runner of the game for Petaluma. A nice at-bat from O'Keefe as she takes inside. Back to the top of the order, and the always dangerous Rachel Bless. First pitch strike. Can you get me? Fouled off by Bless, and now behind 1-2. That Bless batting .367 on the year. She fouls it off. 15 RBIs and 18 hits. 8 home runs last year to lead the team. Only 4 so far this year, but that ain't too shabby for most batters. The 1-2. Right to second. A lazy throw and safe is Bless. Just a lazy play by Cassidy Cole at second. A little bit awkward picking up the ball, and she just floated it to Hart, the first baseman for the Gauchos, who had to get off the bag. And Bless, never short of effort, sprinted down after barely hitting the ball. She gets an infield base hit. Might rule it an error. It was less of just a misplay, but just kind of laziness. It'll be a second chance, and this time she makes the play. Cassidy Cole makes the catch. So the Trojans do get 2 base runners on the walk by O'Keefe, and then the error that makes Bless reach, but no runs, 2 stranded, and we move to the 4th inning. Still no score between these two squads. Petaluma has only been shut out once this season, and they've only shut out another opponent so far this year. We said it. I think this is the way Casa Grande wants to play. The pressure is on Petaluma. They have the much better record. They have the much better success in this series between the two, winning 10 out of the last 11. And the Gauchos, with only victory 2 years ago, besides that, have not won since 2010, since they won in 2015. And all the pressure on them, this game gets tight. And for a Petaluma team that shown getting a little tired in the latter innings with their pitching, it really puts the ball in the Gauchos' court to just hope to scrape off a couple runs and come out of here with a huge upset victory over Petaluma. And for the Trojans, they can't afford really a loss here against the Gauchos. If they're VVAL pursuits, they will face American Canyon on Thursday in a vital game with the Wolves currently in a tie for first place in VVAL. Petaluma needs to at least win 2 out of 3 this week to stay in the league pennant race, and really 3 out of 3, or otherwise they're going to have to win out the rest of the year to have any chance at a league pennant in the inaugural year of the Vine Valley Athletic League. On we go to the 4th inning. Just 1 hit for Casa Grande, no hits for Petaluma. A pitcher's duel at its finest on a sweltering Tuesday afternoon. Blooper into left, but a nice catch is made by Pate. Just, again, not solid contact made. We have not seen really any hard-hit balls so far in this game. O'Keefe and Machado have kept both sides completely off balance. First pitch swinging by Reagan Lobsher. Popped up and right on the lip of the grass is Rachel Bless. Quickly 2 down, 2 pitches, 2 up, 2 down. Exactly what you want if you're O'Keefe. Scott Sievers, longtime manager at Casa Grande. You know, this has to be so important for him. Casa's always languished in the shadow of Petaluma in terms of high school softball. Trying to make that a difference today as this one falls. Looked like another lazy fly ball, but now we see a mistake in the Trojan infield. O'Keefe, Smith, and Wyandotte converged, and all let it drop right in between them. An awkward pop fly, but we talked about it. Put your bat on the ball and just hope for good things right now for these batters. This one slugged into left. Pate going back, and it's off the wall. It's a double for Mo Lynch, the sophomore, with a big-time hit, a first extra base hit. And suddenly 2 down, but runners on second and third, and that error by Petaluma could come back to bite them. Ashley Casper reached in the second on a bloop single over Logan Pomey's head at third. Casper takes outside. Every run so vital in a game that has not shown much scoring. O'Keefe stretches out her arm, takes a deep breath, and catches the outside of the strike zone. Couldn't have placed it better. 1-1. Ground ball, and it got the chalk of the foul line and dribbled foul. So Casper in the hole, 1-2, and O'Keefe trying to work out of her first jam. 49 innings pitch coming into today for O'Keefe. She's a workhorse, no doubt. That misses high. 5-2 on the season. It's our 8th game started. Last year at a 2.22 ERA. It was 10-4 and 15 games started, but the harder competition certainly hasn't been easy for her, and she's had her slumps, as we mentioned. So far, pitching one of her best games. But a lot's going to come down to this next pitch. 3-2. Dribbler, Palmy over, Bliss racing over behind her and making the catch. What an athletic play by the shortstop for Petaluma. Palmy was getting deja vu all over again as that ball went right over her head, but this time Palmy didn't want to let the same thing happen and makes an exceptional cradling catch to likely save 2 runs there. It might have been gone foul, but certainly don't want to take any chances if you're Rachel Bless. And Petaluma able to get out of their first jam. Had an error there, a little bit uncharacteristic of the Trojans, but just able to get out of the inning without allowing any runs is key. And already for the Trojans, they only need 9 more outs if they can just find a way to get a run or two. And Petaluma has the big bats and the YN twins, Smith and Bless, to do it. They just have to settle in and find a way to make some adjustments against Katie Machado, who's pretty much gotten them completely fooled. And I think more at-bats like Mallory O'Keefe, who worked that walk in the 3rd inning, had a lot of foul balls. It was a long at-bat, and she was a lot more patient than we've seen a lot of Trojan hitters been a little bit too free swinging and not gotten good contact on a lot of the pitches from the Casa Grande ace. Kept the Trojans off balance and completely uncomfortable for the majority of this game so far. Back on the field. These teams play twice in a week, so it will be interesting on Friday to see what adjustments are made, and might be different pitchers on both sides with Humphreys and Bless, the other two pitchers, Casa and Petaluma respectively. Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. first pitch on the Casa Grande Diamond as Wyan takes a big hack. But meets all there. Fall behind 0-1. That just misses outside. If anyone's going to get a hit, it's going to be Wyan, the way she's hitting. Reaching half of her plates with a hit. This one into left, and the catch is made. And just not solid contact. You want to get some solid contact on the ball. If you can connect with it in the sweet spot, you can land it in front of those fielders, or you can drive it over their head. With Wyan just being a little bit late there and unable to get firm contact, we've seen a lot of wavering ducks into the outfield. Easy catches for the Gauchos outfield. Smith takes a first pitch strike. The senior, one of the few players in Petaluma roster that was around for when Petaluma lost to Casa back in 2017. 5-2 defeat to the Gauchos. This one down the line, but foul. It's an embarrassing loss for Petaluma. They had beaten the Gauchos every year all the way back to 2010. Broke a 7-year losing streak for Casa Grande. But the Gauchos are going to really have to start winning consistently to change the course of this rivalry. Petaluma winning 10 out of the last 11. That misses low, and it's been the softball players who've gone to the Trojans to play softball. If you're really a talented player, some of the legendary players in Petaluma softball gone on to top colleges across the country. That one takes high by Smith. Smith included in that, headed to St. Mary's in Moraga, Division I school next year to continue her softball career. Just got a piece of it. Slow roller to short. And the catch is made. Nice stretch by Hart. It wasn't the best of throws, but 2 down. Kylie Pate back up for Petaluma. She's 0 for 1. Had a nice weekend in Napa. She swings at the first pitch, and this one will fall into right. Gets by the right fielder, but doesn't dribble too far away from Humphreys. She's able to retrieve it, but the Trojans have finally gotten their first hit of the ball game all the way in this 4th inning. You knew it was going to come, but now can the Trojans string a few together? 2 outs. They're going to have to avoid any mistakes here if they hope to get their first run. Mandy O'Keefe digs in for Petaluma, also 0 for 1. And takes low. Pate Speedy has 1 stolen base this year, had a couple last year. He was used as a pinch runner a lot last year on the bases. As O'Keefe fouls it off. We'll see if Janstow gets aggressive. Did not work out for manager Severs. The Gauchos tried stealing in the second off their first base hit of the game, and Wyan threw them out. Off speed too high. Manager Kurt Janstow telling his junior star, get on any way possible. Trojans just need to find a way to get some base runners and get them moving. 3-2 now. Good patience here by the junior. Payoff pitch coming from Machado. Ground ball gloved by the second baseman. And a nice job by Cassidy Cole to get it out of her mitt and flip it to Hart. The side is retired. That was nice placement by O'Keefe on a 3-2 pitch. But the Gaucho defense does a nice job getting out of that inning. Trojans at least get a hit, but still haven't seen much action on the base pass, and still no score here as we head to the top of the fifth, already through half of this game. And yet for both sides, the hits you can count on one hand. Just one hit for Petaluma, 3 base runners. And for the Gauchos, just 3 base runners in total on 2 hits. It's been, I think we thought there was a chance of a pitcher's duel with the Heat, with both O'Keefe and Machado getting a lot of pitching time over the weekend at the Napa High tournament. Thought they might be in a rhythm, but did not think it would be a pitcher's duel to this extent, with the bats really struggling the way they are for both sides. But a lot of it is credit to an excellent defense, excellent pitching. There's been good catching behind the plate, especially for Emma Wyand for Petaluma, and it's just kept both teams completely off balance to get into any sort of rhythm. And often once you get that first run, it's that monkey off the back, you can get going, but neither team has so far been able to do that. And the pressure will just ramp up as we get to these later innings, and every hit, every run, every ball hit anywhere matters so much more in a rivalry game. That means everything for these players, for this town, and for these schools. Back on the field, please. A 5th inning of work for O'Keefe. So far, working on a 2-hit shutout. And 1 error behind her, no walks. It's Katie Humphreys to lead things off for the Gauchos. Takes outside. That misses low, 2-0. O'Keefe fell behind in her very first at-bat of the game, fell behind 3-0, and I think this is the first time since then that she's fallen behind by more than 1-0 in an at-bat. It's been a big part of her success in this game. Establishing strikes early, and the Gauchos have been forced to defend the plate. Well, that's all that Humphreys does there. Got jammed. Bless makes the catch at short. She's been active and played a nice game. So 1 down. And it will be Katie Machado, the pitcher, trying to help out herself with some run support. Takes outside. Trojans trying to win their 11th out of the last 12 against the green and gold. There has been no sport more than softball that Petaluma has dominated in Egg Bowl rivalries. Hate to admit it, but we are the Trojans' official TV station, as this one is popped up into left. Smith combating the sun, but makes the catch. 2 down. Casa is definitely, especially in the last 10 years or so, had the advantage in Egg Bowl matchups across the majority of sports, but softball has been one where Petaluma as a powerhouse has just completely controlled it. Here is Skylar Thorpe. 2 down, nobody on. And O'Keefe trying to close in on 5 clean innings. Misses again. 2-0. Trojan pitchers coming in, a 3.33 ERA. Hasn't been the best part of the Trojans game, but tonight it has. Only 1 shutout on the season for Petaluma, and they've averaged giving up 3.5 runs per game. A blooper. Smith racing over and makes the catch. We've seen her dive into the grass a couple times to make catches. No need to do that as she takes care of that. And another 1-2-3 inning for O'Keefe, her third 1-2-3 inning so far of the afternoon. And we go to the bottom of the fifth. Still no score here from the Petaluma High School Softball Diamond. If you're just joining us, I'm Griffin Epstein. We are live here on a beautiful 90-degree day on the west side of Petaluma for this big softball rivalry matchup between the Casa Grande Gauchos and the Petaluma Trojans. And not just a rivalry on the line, but a big deal for the league standings. The Trojans and the Gauchos both still right in the thick of things of a very competitive VVAL. Lots of parity up and down the lineup. And this is early in the second half of league play with about 2.5 more weeks left to go in league play. Every game so important towards deciding a league pennant and also deciding the NCS standings. The Trojans hoping they can make a run and possibly win NCS. They have not won NCS since 2011, but the talent on this team for Petaluma, coupled with their experience in youth, definitely is a good recipe. The Gauchos believe, I think they have a similar recipe too. All 13 players on their squad returning from a very good team last year, and they're still kind of looking for their winning stride in a complete rhythm yet in this season. It's 7-8 and 2-5 in VVAL, but a win today would really turn things around. You look at this season. Oh, back on the field, please. You look at this season. Really, a victory today is going to have such a major impact on how you look at these seasons when we look back at these in the years to come. First pitch of this fifth inning taken outside from Machado. It's Cammy Ayers who digs in, the junior first baseman. Check swing, but it's in there for a strike anyways. 11 hits on the season for Ayers, batting just a tick under 300 with 8 runs and 5 batted in. She takes outside. Here's a member of varsity girls basketball team that beat Casa Grande for the first time in 10 years. A big swing and a miss. Swinging for the fences there, but all the Trojans need right now is just finding a way to get at base runners and hope that they can get more from there. Ayers takes inside. Had to get out of the way of that one. 2-2. Another lazy fly ball that does not even get to the outfield, and the catch is made at short by Ashley Casper. So 2 down, or 1 down, I should say, and here's Logan Pomey. Trojans got their first hit last inning, but still no more. Feel free to leave any comments in the live chat, and we'll get to them. If you like this video, can like it and check out all of our other softball, baseball, and spring sports coverage so far this year on Trojan Live. Next live stream will be next week as a bunt is laid down, but it is foul. No, she's out. Pomey is ruled out. Not exactly sure what the ruling was. It might have hit her in fair territory. I don't think there was a tag applied. Either way, Pomey trying to get creative. It does not work out for her, though, and 2 down. And Mallory O'Keefe takes inside, one of only 2 base runners for Petaluma. She walked. Our next live stream will be next, or 2 actually weeks from now, I should say. Thursday afternoon. Right back here at the Petaluma High School Softball Diamond, it will be senior day for these Trojans as they take on Justin Siena and also the penultimate game of VVAL play. Game could just decide the VVAL titles. The Trojans will battle the Braves, so don't miss that. And then the very next day, we'll bring to you the baseball senior day. Continue to cover both sides as they venture into VVAL and NCS. And we'll also try to make it out on the road if league pennants are on the line as well. 2-0 to O'Keefe. Takes a first strike. Make it 2-1. And fouled back. Petaluma hitting .360 on the year, 144 hits, and yet they have just one hit in this game. 87 runs batted in, too, and a .495 slugging. They can get extra base hits. Hasn't happened today, though, so far. 1, 2, 3 again. Another clean inning for Katie Machado. What a job she has done against these talented Petaluma bats. Trojans will get top of the order in the 6th, but we just continue to go along this game with no runs scored. And, I mean, someone has to score at some point, but who knows? This could potentially go on for a while, the way both pitchers are pitching. And clearly this heat's not affecting them at the moment, even with 90 degrees at first pitch, and it's probably now down to about 85 degrees. There's no shade on the field. Petaluma and Casa have both been completely fooled by the two aces for the Trojans and the Gauchos, and it's led to a complete pitcher's duel on both sides that really has been fun to watch. I mean, hope you didn't come for the offense, but both O'Keefe and Machado really have been masterful in the center circle, working their pitches around, keeping the opposing bats off balance, and it's just really been a struggle for the batters, but it's all the credit to the pitchers, no doubt, what we've seen so far in this Tuesday afternoon affair with an Egg Bowl on the line in this crosstown rivalry. So we head back onto the field. We have any comments in the live chat, Jamie? Not yet. Again, any questions, comments, concerns, or want to pronounce your rooting interest, feel free to in our live chat. Hope you're enjoying this one from home. It's pretty hot to be out. The Trojan stands are in the shade, but the Gaucho fans are having to be under the mercy of the sun. As Sam Dedrickson, the number 9 hitter for the Gauchos, up for the second time this afternoon. Batters with the lack of hits are just not getting a lot of opportunities so far in this game. This one driven into left, high into the air, but Peyton makes the catch. Nice air gone on that one from Dedrickson, but Trojan outfield, 2 seniors and a junior, all returning varsity players, and in fact, the entire starting lineup for Petaluma today, with the exception of Mallory O'Keefe at second, all returners, have not been phased by this moment, which it's bigger and bigger as these innings go on. First pitch was bounced to Emily Hart, batting .290 on the year. Sophomore fouls it off. One of the 7 freshmen that was on the Gauchos last year. One of the youngest possible varsity teams you could imagine. If you didn't have a JV team, it might be explainable, but the Gauchos do. It's interesting, the sophomore class at Casa, very strong athletically, as is Petaluma, and I don't know what it is about the class of 2021, but out 1 year is producing athletes all over Petaluma. That one misses high to hard. It's 2-1. No score here. Top 6th. Ground ball to second. It bounces off the glove of O'Keefe and into left. And we've seen so few hard hit balls today. It's been so easy for the fielders, but the one inexperienced player on the Trojans makes her second mistake of the day. Also misplayed a fly ball. She now has 2 errors. The Gauchos have a base runner on. Emily Hart digs in. 1 on, 1 out. Lays down a bunt. O'Keefe has got it. Throw to first. They check on Machado at second, but she is advanced, and the job is done. A runner in scoring position, and now all Presley Ruoff, one of the 3 seniors on the Gauchos, needs to do is get a base hit, and that could be all for this one. Ground ball right to O'Keefe. She's got it. Side retired. So the Gauchos again try to get aggressive. They lay down the bunt, but it does not pay off. O'Keefe is coming up with big pitches when she needs to, and she continues to be in command. The Gauchos strand one on no hits, one error, and one left on as we head to the bottom of the sixth here. Still 0-0 between Petaluma and Casa Grande. And this pitcher's duel here from the Petaluma High School Softball Diamond. Update on the VVAL standings. Both of these teams still in the mix in this remarkably strong league. Petaluma was 11-1 in SCL last year, 3-3 so far this year, hoping to go back over 500 with a victory today. The Gauchos are currently sitting a game behind them at 2-5. And Sonoma Valley currently tied for Petaluma and a tie for fourth place at 4-4. Napa currently in third at 5-3, and it's Vintage and American Canyon in a two-way tie for first place, both 6-2. But games continuing today across the Vine Valley Athletic League, including Napa at Justin Siena and American Canyon taking on Sonoma Valley. And as this week continues, we got a couple more rain makeout games. VVAL standings will continue to shape up, but it really looks like it's going to be a thrilling sprint to the finish, which will conclude on May 7th as we head back onto the field. Which will conclude on May 7th, and could really come down to the last games. There's certainly a good chance that there's co-champs with everyone beating up everyone. Top of the order for Petaluma, Rachel Bless. 0 for 2 will lead things off for Petaluma. First pitch strike. The Trojan dugout all standing up. Chanting, banging on the fence, trying to do anything to encourage Bless for a massive hit for the Trojans. Nasty off speed. My goodness, that is nearly unhittable from Machado. She's thrown that pitch a couple times. It nearly stops as it reaches about the face of the pitcher, and then it just darts down into the strike zone, but that one Bless reads well. Lines it past the shortstop, and she reaches the first leadoff base runner of the entire afternoon. So it goes through the heart of the order. Is this the inning for the Trojans? If Petaluma can scratch across a run, all they would need would be 3 more outs by O'Keefe in the top inning. Bunt is laid down. Nice job by Wyand. And Bless advances to second. So the job done by Kaylee Wyand brings up her sister Emma Wyand. The hottest hitter on the Trojans. Can she come through with a base hit, potentially to win this game? First pitch swinging, lined into left. It will fall, and Bless will go to third. A huge base hit for Wyand. She didn't get solid contact on it, but just able to nick it off the outside of her bat, and it fell into left. All Smith needs is a sacrifice fly with 1 out, and Petaluma could take the lead. It would certainly not be the prettiest of runs, but all you need is 1 right now in this scrappy game. Smith laid down the bunt. Wyand goes to second without a throw. Nice play there by the Trojans. Looked like Smith was thinking about the suicide squeeze, pulled it back, but that delay in the bunt attempt at least slowed down Skylar Thorpe, the Gaucho catcher, and she was never able to make the throw to second. Bottom of the 6th. Smith looks in on the 1-0. Trojan senior captain pops this up, and it will get out of play. Gauchos clawing at the fence, hoping they can reach for it, knowing how important this out is. Machado has been brilliant, but she hasn't faced a jam like this. 2 in scoring position. The 0-2. Just got a piece of it. Smith staying alive. Exceptional piece of work. Smith has 10 runs batted in this year, 20 batted in last year. This one through the gap between short and third. Bless will come home to score, and the Trojans have broken the deadlock. Smith with a clutch 0-2 piece of hitting, and the placement could have not been more perfect. Right past the outstretched glove of Mo Lynch, and it's 1-0 Petaluma. The bunt held back, I should say. And just like that, Smith goes to second again. Same play as Smith did to advance the runner. So now runners at second and third again. This one popped up and will stay in the infield. The catch will be made by Dedrickson, the left fielder, who screaming that it was hers as she was coming in, and makes the catch, and not deep enough for the sac fly. So the Trojans still trying to get a little bit of insurance here with runners at second and third before O'Keefe comes out for the deciding 7th inning. First pitch into Mandy O'Keefe. Well, there's nothing better than getting some insurance for yourself, and having a 2 or 3 run lead is so big because you have to get a base runner. However, this popped up to first. That's not going to be the case. We will go to the 7th. The Trojans have gotten the 1 run they needed. Clutch piece of hitting, Rachel Bless with the base hit to lead things off, and that was the difference. There hadn't been a leadoff base runner in this entire game by both sides. Bless got the base hit, advanced her with a nice bunt by Kaylee Wine. Emma Wine did an exceptional piece of hitting, lining it into left before India Smith, the senior captain, able to come through when it counted with a ground ball base hit through short and third to score Bless. And if O'Keefe can get 3 more outs, that would stand up as a victory for Petaluma. What a sweet victory it would be, especially for Mandy O'Keefe. She only has 1 complete game shutout on the year, and it was a game stopped by mercy rule, a victory over Redwood in 5 innings. A complete game shutout against the rivals when only 1 run is short. That would be something special she would never forget, and have to be big for Petaluma going into Thursday at League First Place American Canyon, and then facing Casa Grande again on Friday. The nerves will be on too here for Petaluma. They need to make sure to communicate as they have for the most of this game, and just continue to make the plays and use their experience as a fielding squad that really has been pretty strong this game and throughout the season. The one weak spot has been Mallory O'Keefe, 2 errors in this game, but it has not cost Petaluma. Back on the field, please. The exciting conclusion of this one, top 7. Here we go with Mo Lynch to lead things off for the Gauchos. Lynch had a double in the 5th inning, the only extra base hit of this game, but she was stranded at third. Takes the first pitch strike. Attention palpable in the stands here. Off speed is nasty by O'Keefe. Catches the bottom corner. And now Lynch in the hole. Off speed again, and it just missed. That's risky by O'Keefe. Throw 2 change-ups in a row. Lucky for her, Lynch wasn't sitting back on it. Now she grounds this one to short, and it's off the glove of Bless, a base hit. That was a rocket off the bat of Mo Lynch, and Bless unable to handle it. That should go as a base hit. And Casa Grande now as the leadoff runner. First time all game they've done that, and here's Ashley Casper. Casper has a base hit in this game. It was the first one all the way back in the second. And O'Keefe painting that outside corner again. She could be Picasso the way she has had pinpoint accuracy painting that outside corner with her pitches. Casper pops this one up into left. Paid over. One down. The Gauchos electing not to bunt there. Interesting decision by manager Scott Severs, but now with one out, can't imagine you would think about it with Katie Humphreys, the junior, to bat. Outside. And Wyan takes a long look back at Lynch at first. The long and lanky Lynch can certainly steal a base if needed. That misses. In for a strike. 1-1. 2-1, I should say. The Gauchos would be eliminated from VVAL pennant contention with a loss. Fall 2 games below 500 and drop their 10th out of their last, or 11th out of their last 12 to Petaluma if they cannot complete a comeback. 2-2 to Humphreys. Ground ball to Bless. There's one. They turn two. No. Awfully close, but Bless exceptional turning that ball, snapping it around. That's a skilled shortstop she is. But 2 down now. Humphreys will be at first. And last gas for the Gauchos as Katie Machado digs in. It's been an exceptional game for Machado from the center circle. Just 1 run given up last inning. Only a couple hits the entire game. She's been masterful, but unless she can do something here, all her efforts will be for naught. And the Gauchos' misery against the Trojans will continue. Megan Bendick will pinch hit for the Gauchos at first base. 2 out, 1 on, top 7, 1-0 Petaluma. First pitch misses outside. Stay tuned after the game. We will have interviews with the stars of the game and manager Kurt Janstow. Misses low. It gets away from Wyan. Here comes the throw. Safe is Bendick. So Megan Bendick, the sophomore, a nice job reading that ball. It never really got by Wyan. It just bounced around. But Bendick read it well, went for it, and gets in time. 2-1. A base hit should score Bendick as that's fouled off. Casa down to its last strike. A 2-2 from O'Keefe. Swing and a miss. And now it's 2-2. Got you a little too excited at home, I know. But no scoreboard today. And the umps calling out the balls and the strikes. Here comes the 2-2. Ground ball, foul. Everyone riding on every pitch. This Egg Bowl affair. Machado has reached base on hits 41% of the time this year. One of the best hitters for the Gauchos. Ground ball to Bless. She bobbles it. The throw to first in time. And the Trojans defeat the Gauchos. It's a complete game shutout by Mandy O'Keefe. And Petaluma continues its dominance over Casa Grande. 1-0, the final score. What an effort by Mandy O'Keefe this afternoon. 7 innings strong. She gave up just 4 hits in the game. No walks. She pitched her best game of this season, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Petaluma scrapped across 1 run in the 6th inning, and that was all they needed for a sweet victory to defeat Casa Grande. The teams collect handshakes, the Trojans bouncing down into center field. They are delighted to knock off their rivals once again as they defeat Casa for the 2nd time in a row and make it 11 out of 12. These teams have faced off. Trojans move to 12-5 overall, 4-3 in VVAL, while the Gauchos fall to 8-10 overall, 2-6 in the Vine Valley Athletic League. Stay tuned, interviews coming up next. Yeah. All right. You can hear me? So. We are being told you can hear me, but it's so. Well, what am I supposed to do? I guess that's the best I can do. All right. Awesome. Oh my God. What is going on? I'm watching. All right, we on this camera? All right. Mandy O'Keefe taking some photos after one of the best performances of her career. And the Trojan ace now joining me. What a game for you. Just describe your emotions right now.
I mean, I was excited going into it, and it's our rival, so we have to keep energy up, and it's just exciting to play them.
Complete game shutout. I think only 3 hits given up in a 1-0 game that was all about pitching. How were you able to push through against some really good bats in such a big moment with an exceptional performance?
Well, since they're in the I've played with them for years, so I mean I know what they can and can't hit, so that's a huge advantage. And I know I have defense behind me, so if they do hit a pitch, I trust we can get it.
Petaluma softball's been dominant against Casa of late. This is now the 11th victory in the last 12 times you guys have played. How much does it mean to defeat Casa Grande?
It means a lot, and to keep it going every year, it's really great.
You've had an up and down year pitching. There's been some really good teams you've faced and some rough patches. How have you kept your head up and been able to have your best performance of the season this afternoon?
My teammates really, they always pick me up. They're always cheering, rooting me on, and it helps a lot.
Teams A is so important to this team's success as you look towards the end of VVAL and you guys still in contention for a league pennant. What do you think is going to be the key to being right up at the top and maybe taking home the first VVAL title?
We just have to keep practicing hard and doing what we do, and I think we'll be good.
Thank you so much, Mandy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is Mandy O'Keefe after probably the best pitching performance of her career, certainly the biggest moment for her. 7 strong innings, her first complete game, or only her third complete game of the season, her first shutout of the season, and boy, was she remarkable out there. Completely had the Gauchos off balance, and they really were unable to get in any sort of rhythm throughout this one. And all the Trojans needed was 1 run. They scraped it across in the 6th, and it was just small ball. It was a base hit by Rachel Bless, a bunt, moved her on another dinky base hit, and then India Smith had the RBI single to bring home the winning run for Petaluma in the 6th inning. And Katie Machado, what a pitching performance she had for Casa Grande. She had really the Trojans' bats as fooled as the Gauchos' bats were fooled, and it was not an easy outing for the Trojan bats, but all they needed was 1, and they were able to get that. We are going to grab India Smith in just a moment as she got the big hit for Petaluma to secure the victory this afternoon, and the Trojans continue their dominance over Casa. They've played a lot of close games over the years, but the Trojans just always seem to find a way to get a big victory over the Gauchos, and they continue that this afternoon. They'll play again, however, on Friday, so it'll be interesting to see what both teams try to adjust hitting-wise with such the low-scoring game this afternoon. All right, India Smith coming on over to join me. All right, step up right here. All right, we are here with India Smith, and you guys defeat Casa Grande 1-0 in a game just filled with tension and just smooth softball. What did this mean for you, especially as a senior?
It's really fun for us, especially to win a game like this, and it's always fun to beat Casa, but this year it's even more important in our new league where everyone's beating everyone. Every win's important.
You had the game-winning RBI. Take us through that at bat, and how are you able to win the game with that base hit?
I went down 0-2, and I was like, oh no, and then I was expecting her to throw me a rise ball. She kept throwing me fastballs or something down, and then I got a little jammed on it. I didn't hit it that hard, but it worked, so it's okay.
Mandy O'Keefe was dominant today for you guys. It's been an up-and-down season for her, but what can you say about your junior ace this afternoon?
Mandy, she's just she always goes out there and just does her best, and she never complains. She's had to throw so many games over the past 2 years, and she just does it, and she just gets people out. She gets ground balls and gets fly balls for our defense, and our defense is able to make plays. She's confident in what we're able to do, and we back her up really well, and she does really well for us.
Talking about everyone beating everyone so far this year in VVAL, you guys are now 4-3. You're just 1 loss back from the Vintage and American Canyon at the top of the league standings. With just kind of the wild league, how do you guys keep your head up throughout of it and hope to end up on top when all the chaos is over?
We just know that after a loss, 1 loss doesn't mean it's over. We just got to come out every game and work our hardest, and every game matters. We have to, it's different than last year when we were oh, LCL and oh, El Molino. This year we really have to come out and be our best. So it's challenging for us. It challenges us every day, and it prepares us for the tougher games that we face. So it's good for us as a team, yeah.
Thank you so much, India. Congratulations. Trojans senior captain India Smith after the big victory. We're going to grab one more interview before wrapping it up. We have... Yes. Thanks, Kurt. there. All right, the manager of the Trojans, Kurt Janstow, heading over to join me after Petaluma knocks off Casa Grande once again in a thrilling, low-scoring affair. If you missed any of the game, it's all up on our YouTube channel. And, Coach, it was just a low-scoring, hard-fought game. How are you guys able to pull it out 1-0?
Well, Mandy pitched a great game. She only gave up 2 hits, no walks. We played really good defense, and we got the key bunt down and the key base hit. We're a tough team. When we can get pitching and defense, we usually score enough runs to win. And that's just a great Casa Petaluma game. Just a great game. 2 good